Hello and welcome to fresponse.com. Today we're going to talk about fresponse Enterprise and Consultant Plus Covert. Specifically, we're going to focus our attention on the new fresponse version 8. We'll start by opening up the fresponse License Manager Monitor. This tool is going to broker access to our license dongle when we deploy and start fresponse on a remote machine. First thing we'll do is make sure we've set up a username and password. It's important to remember this is an arbitrary account that's going to control access to fresponse on our remote machine. So it can be pretty much anything you'd like. We've gone ahead and set to auto start, and then we've started the fresponse license manager. The icon is shifted to running, and then we press OK. This will end up collapsing to the system tray where we could find it in the future. Now we're going to open up our fresponse management console. A lot's changed with fresponse version 8, and we'll do our best to walk you through that console today. We've cut the console into 4 basic panes: data sources, items, and activity, as well as a messages panel below. Data sources is just like it sounds. It's sources of information that we can use to, or we can go to locate fresponse data. So these would be things like remote machines as well as cloud data sources. Any individual machines or cloud accounts would appear under items, and then activities that we have performed would appear in the activities panel. We're going to go ahead and start by deploying fresponse to a remote machine. We'll take a look at our deployment settings. Here we'd set up our service name description, executable name, and service port, as well as the location of our license manager. Keep in mind the first 4 values can be changed to something else in your environment. The license manager URI shouldn't really be changed as it's pointing back to our local license manager here. Now we'll go to deployment and deploy a covert subject via the network. We'll start by configuring some credentials. This is where you would enter those domain credentials that you want to use to deploy and start fresponse on a remote machine. Once we've entered those credentials in, that's what the fresponse software will use for deployment. If we're looking to deploy to non-Windows machines, we put in a user account and assume root privileges using su or sudo, or a root account proper. Deployment to remote machines for non-Windows is done with SSH. For Windows is done with file and network printer sharing services. Alright, so we're going to go through the deployment process here. We'll put in a remote machine and we'll go to install and start fresponse. What that's going to do is it's going to copy fresponse to the remote machine, register it as a service, and start the service. Once the service starts, you'll see that subject under data sources properly filtered based on the subject platform. Any details or errors would appear in that messages panel. We can select Windows to see our newly deployed fresponse Windows machine. We can also see that we have 3 data sources. We'll go ahead and double-click, or right-click rather, on that Windows subject and attach a target or make an image directly. We'll start with attaching a target because that's the most traditional usage of fresponse. You'll see we've added a new target type, pmin unsafe, which includes access to physical memory with some of our additional controls disabled. Use at your own risk. We'll go ahead and select disk 1 and attach it to our local machine as a physical drive. Again, as we said before, activity appears in the activity pane. So you'll see here we have remote machines. Disk 1 is now attached to our machine as physical drive 1. Below, our messages panel updates with information connected to that operation. Now, we could make an image directly of that disk, or we could image the subject directly. Now, the key value to imaging the subject directly is that we can automatically resume in the event the subject drops off the network temporarily. We'll go ahead and select disk 1, and we'll fill out the image detail information, including the image name, where we want to set the image, and then some additional NK-specific or EO1-specific values. We're going to go ahead and put that in the collection folder on our local machine, and we'll fill out the examiner name, case number, evidence number, unique description, and notes. All fresponse images are done in EO1 format with compression enabled. Keep in mind, you do not need to use fresponse to create your image. You're welcome to use any other tool you'd like against that newly attached physical drive. Alright, imaging again will also appear in the activity panel. We can see what's going on and get an update as to the performance and the process and the percentage complete. Now let's take a look at our cloud collection capability. Before, fresponse used to attach cloud accounts as drives. Now we could collect the data directly. We've gone ahead and set up an Amazon S3 account, and within that account, of course, we can double-click on it and get a listing of buckets. We'll select a bucket and indicate where we would like fresponse to collect that data to, either a local VHD or to a directory, and then we'll give it a path to which to save the data to. When fresponse downloads cloud data, it downloads the individual files and folders, resets their dates and times according to the dates and times that the provider offers. We have a number of different cloud collection options, which we'll show you momentarily. So as you can see, we have 3 different activities going on at the same time: an image operation, as well as a locally attached drive, and then a cloud collection. Double-clicking on any of the activity items, or icons rather, will give you a more detailed activity dialog. This includes different information for cloud versus imaging versus attached drives. All right. So what we see here is we have an attached disk, we have a cloud collection currently ongoing, and we have an imaging operation. Under cloud settings, we give you a number of different options, including the ability to set the number of retries for individual files, setting different timeouts, and then downloading either file revisions or verifying file item hashes. Both of those last two options are both F-response and provider dependent. You'll find more information on different provider specifics as well as how to get accounts configured and set up for them in the F-response mission guides on our website. Messages as well as error messages appear in the messages panel below. Here you can see some of the various activity that we have ongoing or recently performed. We can see the duration, the total bytes, and the files copied so far for this collection. In addition, something new we've added to the collection of Gmail is the ability to filter your Gmail account ahead of time. We also do remind you about user rate limiting. It may impact a user while you're collecting their Google account. So here we have the mechanism for collecting either to a local VHD or a local directory. We also give you the ability to enable a search. You could go to Gmail directly, put together a set of search criteria that you wanted to use to filter the Gmail, and then apply that search criteria here. That would, of course, give you a collection that was limited to what Google felt matched on your individual search criteria. All right, we'll go ahead and remove our image. Since it's already completed, this will remove the reference to our image, but not the actual image file itself. In addition, we'll go ahead and detach the local drive. And then lastly, we will remove our cloud collection. First, let's go ahead and open up the destination folder just to show you what some of this would look like. Here you can see our individual image as well as the cloud folder with data files in it, and then an additional set of CSV documents of files downloaded as well as any errors, and of course a summarization file which indicates that we were completed successfully, the target duration, bytes, etc. All right, so we'll cancel and remove our collection, again only removing the reference to it and not the actual data. We'll then select our remote machine and stop and remove the F-response software from it, thereby returning it to the way it was before we started. Hopefully this gives you a good summary of F-response version 8 from Consultant Plus Covert and Enterprise. For more information, check us out on the web at www.f-response.com. Thanks, and have a great day.